Staying with politics, as Nigerians prepare to choose the nation's next president, there are calls for young people to get more involved in politics. Despite the not too young to run law, Nigeria's political space is still dominated by older politicians. Fubara Blessing is a youth consultant and former technical assistant in National Youth's Database. He joins us now in the studio for more. Thank you so much for joining us on News Night tonight.
Good to have you.
First of all, it's a case of, youth run, right? I mean, first of all, not too young to run, so we're allowed to run. The old remain. Hold a second.
I didn't know you were part of the youth. Let me take this one.
That is not fair. You did not say that. But go ahead.
I think it's relative.
Oh, it's relative, right? Okay, that's fine. I'm sure you've been listening to rhetorics coming from the 18 or so presidential candidates. And of course, you've just been listening to Hamza Mustafa, Major retired, is the presidential candidate of the Action Alliance. Yeah. He said in response to what he would do, fixing the economy and all of that security, he talked about empowerment of the youth, taking care of the women, bringing back the dignity of Nigeria, bringing back the relevance of the country. How do all of these resonate with you?
For me, I think this is one of the major essence for the project that I'm here for. But one thing I see that I want to say, here in Nigeria, we're always quick to take to trends. Now there is a semantic that's out there. Everybody wants to talk about issue-based campaigning. But for me, I don't think it's just the expression of the semantics. Issue-based campaigning should also show practical implementation campaigning, which is peak. Enough of all of the rhetorics of what they would do or what they want to do. Now where the youth are quite aware, we want to see the measures on ground. We want to see practical steps to implementation. Because of course you agree with me that before this time, there's been a major bridge between beliefs of administrational dispensations and the youth. This is because the consciousness, genuineness and sincerity of purpose of dispensations and interventions has not seemingly been what is being said to be. So the consciousness and awareness of Nigerian youth today is not about the stories. Don't always come and also tell us about issue-based. When they say issue-based, it shouldn't be you rephrasing the semantic. It should be showing us strategies for practical implementation.
But you're just boring Ngosi's energy of trying to lay position to a question. When the youth are addressing this issue, we're talking about what's going to play out online. We have seen supporters go at each other. We have seen fake, information play out there as it is. How best do you think the youths can communicate this demand? How best can they occupy that position to say, it's our time, it's about us, and this is what we want?
I think what I've brought here is one of the best ways that we can go about this. Is a special purpose vehicle. I'll take us back a bit to the EndSARS protest. Now, we had a lot of agitations and issues raised during this protest. But we had a problem with leadership. There was no focused leadership to really direct this focus through the right channel. But for now, what we're trying to do, why we're here with the project is Christian Project What Rivers Youths Need right now.
That's Rivers youth.
That's Rivers. We're talking nationally. We took our own perspective because, of course, the issues of the unemployment, the joblessness in the country cannot be overemphasized. But where our interest is as it concerns our state. Moreover, we are getting to this time again when you see them now come about with different promises of what they want to do. We're not saying people should not be support-based, but if you want to be support-based, you should also show us practical implementation strategies.
What is that agenda that you want to set for the incoming administration, whether you're talking about the national level or in Rivers State, where you seem to have more interest? What kind of agenda, as far as the economy is concerned, employment, and all of that?
We think, first of all, we started it from the national level before this time. So we're not just taking it now. But why we're concentrated at Rivers State at this time to set this agenda is we must have a parameter to show sincerity of purpose in governance. We must have a parameter that describes a youth-oriented policy that should be implemented. We're setting up a database. The database for us now is to do proper qualification identification, skills identification, interest identification, and passion. Because if you talk about employment generation, all this while we keep looking at employment generation in the sense of just creating benevolence jobs where people are hired and fired between the hours of 9 and 5. But the world has evolved into a self-service nation. People are practically self-employed. What they need basically at this point is a platform, an enabling platform in terms of facilitations, recommendations, reference, and otherwise. So the purpose of the database we are setting up now as an agenda for the incoming administration is, don't come and tell us you don't know the magnitude of the problem. We'll get to the statistics, but before the statistics of the unemployment misery rate and that, this is the magnitude of the problem. This is Rivers youth. This is who they are. This is what they can do. This is what they are doing. So face the problem as you have seen it. We are not just even waiting for the incoming administration. Like I said, we've been hitting on genuineness and sincerity of purpose of the project, because a lot of people will think, why is it coming now? Why? Because of the campaigns and all. Yes, it's coming now because, like we agreed, we want to set it as an agenda for the incoming administration, but we're also going to start to show the practical measures to create this job. So it's not like one of those rhetorics or stories that comes within this time. That's why I started with we are facing them with PIC. PIC is practical implementation campaigning. When the curtains are drawn open, you say it, but for now, let's deliver.
Okay. Well, thank you very much on that particular note, because you want to take this out.
That's where we have to leave it. Ambassador Fubara Blessing, thank you so much.